Hello YouTube, this is GamerRichy and I just wanted to go through a replay here with a chap called E-Man, and I believe this is around about bronze to silver here, and he's posted in the Pigpan Discord in terms of how to sort of improve at the game and how to progress within the game itself. And I just wanted to offer a couple of really basic pointers. Now I'm going to label and title this video improvement at the game, real basics of Zerg versus Zerg, or Zerg in general, and just how to improve at the game. So first of all, ZVZ. Yeah, we've got two races that in effect have a lot of vision in the early parts of the game. Now before the game starts, especially in ZVZ, what you want to be able to do is certainly scout across the map with the first overlord. Yeah, sending your overlord all the way to the other side of the map. Now your first overlord scouts whether your opponent has an expansion. That is your first objective within the game, is scouting that natural. And the reason why that's important is because you need to know whether your opponent is expanding. Because if you're expanding and he isn't, well, you're in trouble and now you need to defend. That formulates the first decision within the game. So if I take it really far back, just from that first action, in terms of the game itself, in terms of StarCraft 2, there are three things that you need to learn to become a good StarCraft 2 player. And those three things are vision, production, and supply. So we're going to try and assess this guy. And now he's this is really basic. And I've just disabled the sound because it can get kind of frustrating listening to the in-game music. But all of your decisions, or most of your decisions, in the game is made from scouting and from information. The rest is you're trying to get into a routine within the game. So we can see this low elo game of where they're not really quite following a routine. So the first thing you need to do in a game of StarCraft 2 is to follow your routine. Now there are various ways to do this. You can have a set build order. You can do trial and error. What I'd suggest is, first of all, if you're opening up a Zerg, all you want to be doing is trying to make sure that you are getting buildings at the right time. So what I suggest for players to do, and this doesn't affect players that are a higher elo, so platinum, diamond, masters, anything like that. Lower elo, what I'd suggest for any player just learn Zerg is open up 17 hatch, 17 pool, and 17 gas. Really simple. 17, so that you can keep 16 workers on the mineral line. So what 17 hatch means is that 17 supply, the bottom, what would be at the top right hand side, you move your first worker behind one of the mineral lines and you make a spawning pool. Then your worker dies, then turning it into 16 supply, and you make one more worker. So basically the way it'll go is you'll make a spawning pool, the drone dies to make the spawning pool, go into 16, make one worker, then make the gas, you'll make the hatchery first at 17 supply, then you'll lose a worker, then go to the spawning pool, lose a worker, then you add another worker, and then you'll have your gas. So you're losing a worker and then you're gaining a worker at the same time. That's at 17 supply. Now the reason why that's really important is so that we can have 16 workers on the mineral line, maximising that mineral income at least. It's not 100% efficient, but it's efficient enough. So let's go back again to vision, production, and supply and what that means. So once we've done our 17, we need to know, when we've taken our expansion, whether our opponent has an expansion. And we're going to use our overlords to scout across the map to see whether our opponent has the intention to expand. And this matters in ZVZ, ZVT, and ZVP. Now once you've scouted whether your opponent has taken their expansion, and we'll fast forward here into the part of the game, you'll then be able to make your first decision within the game. Now, low elo players or lower elo players make the mistake all the time of rushing for tech, of rushing for something that they don't need. So in ZVZ, what we want to see is loads of lings and baneling wars. We don't really want to see early roaches. There's no need to make an early roach run on one base. Roaches are very, very expensive for what they are. Very, very expensive. Whereas lings, you can spam lings. Lings are much more affordable because they only cost minerals. And you can morph them into banelings for a little bit of gas. Roaches require both minerals and gas. So it kind of upsets your balance of your minerals and your gas early on. If you're going to be going for the roach run, you can simply do a better job in just making lings. So there's a couple of milestones that I want to make you guys aware of. Now, after we go for our 17, 17, 17, we are making 2 lings and 2 queens. Yeah. And what I'll do is I'll try and demonstrate in the future with a video of how that's done. But I just want to give you the idea of the concept, because people need to really understand of how to improve at the game at low elo. Once you've then made your 2 queens and your 2 lings, what you're trying to do is you're trying to drone up your natural while making sure that you do not forget your ling speed at 100 gas. Once that ling speed is, or once you're at 100 gas, you would then grab ling speed. Now, unfortunately, this player here was not able to see the lings coming across the map, I don't think, and wasn't really able to react, because by the time, in fact, this player did see the lings, but wasn't able to react in time. Now that's because this player was too busy focusing on things that aren't important, so making this roach run. There's no reason to make this roach run. And again, the build order is very unorthodox, so it doesn't really help the player have the maximum out that they should have at this time. So once these lings come in and they kill this expansion, this player's virtually dead. Yeah, so if we see that, this expansion's cancelled at least, but then in the main base, he's in a lot of trouble. So this queen dies, and then he probably just about holds with these units. So this is where we don't want to end up here. Yeah. So what I'm suggesting, there's a couple of milestones that you can use, Mr. E-Man. So when you get 100 gas, we want to go for speed, while you've got these 2 bases and these 2 sets of lings. You then want to, at the next 50 gases, go into Baneling Nest. If you get attacked, or if your first Overlord sees at the start of the game that there's any early units coming across the map, instead of making drones after your 4 lings and your 2 queens, you're making more lings, or you can use a drone to make a spine crawler. It'd be very, very useful for you. Yeah, because then you can use the queens and the spine crawler to defend. So that's what you need to be doing. Going for that expansion. Going 17 hatch, 17 pull, 17 gas. Using the first Overlord to see whether he's got an expansion. Getting speed at 100 gas. Getting Baneling Nest at 50 gas. So that's 150 gas in total while you're still making gas. Your ling speed finishes at around about 3 minutes 30. And then just before 3 minutes 30, say at sort of 3 minutes 10, 3 minutes 20, you can start to make lings for your ling and baneling phase. That's what I want you to do as a metal player. From that bronze to gold. Really, really basic stuff. Vision, production, supply. We've mentioned vision in terms of getting the Overlord into the natural to seeing whether your opponent has a natural. Production in terms of you're having both those queens to inject both of those bases, so therefore you'll have 2 in effect pop outs of lava, extra units that you can produce. And supply, making an Overlord. Now, it's okay to make an Overlord at 19 supply. That's fine. There'll be a 19 or 20 supply Overlord that you'll need to put down. It's okay to do that. We don't need to do anything that's special at this elo. as long as we're making one overlord every now and again. And once you're 2 base or even 3 base saturated, you're almost making one overlord per base. So if you're 3 base saturated, you'll go inject, 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 overlord, 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 loads of units. Then you reset that macro cycle, inject, 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 overlord, 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 loads of units or drones. But what you need to do, especially in ZVZ, especially at lower elos, is going for the Lings and the Baning sort of wars. Because if you don't do that, you're not able to gain the not only the confidence, but also the mobility of the map. Lings can travel really fast across the map and they can punish things. So you need to use that to your advantage, being at this level. Because your opponent's not going to be able to have that reaction time to deal with it. So that's what I'm going to suggest to you, E-Man, and I hope you watch this video. It's really, really important. The real basics of ZVZ, understanding what we're trying to achieve. If you can't do this, then what I suggest you do is go 17 pool, 17 hatch, and then 17 gas. So opening up pool first, holding off of 3 lava. Halfway through the spawning pool is being made, and then making 6 to 8 lings to be aggressive early on, so that then you're the one in the driving seat. So that's what I suggest to you, man. So if there are any questions, obviously, please, any questions, please put down below in the chat. Remember, this is a very, very basic guide on how to improve. And the best thing to do as a learning player at such an elo is every time you play a game, I want you to note one thing you did wrong. Every time you play a game, win or loss, write it down and go, right, ZVT got supply block too much. Not happy with that. ZVP didn't have my second overlord in his main base at 4 minutes 20. That'll be in my ZVP video, which I'll be making videos of all races. And I want you to just list down those items. So at the end of your laddering session, I then want you to look at whether there's any trends. Okay, I've got supply blocked a lot today. So tomorrow or the next time I'm on StarCraft, I want to work on that. I want to still do what I'm doing now, but I want to work specifically on that. I want you to try that, E-Man, because I think that what's really, really important is that whether you improve by doing, listening, hearing, whatever it is, the main thing that everybody learns from is seeing patterns and seeing things that you don't normally expect to see. And then you look at somebody else and they're like, oh, well, you're just macro better. But hopefully we've been able to demonstrate in this replay exactly what just macro better means. So I really, really do hope you take a look at this video. I'm going to be doing a lot more content. I might be looking at a lot more pig replays as well that are useful, that are somewhat standard games. I know this wasn't a standard game, and I know this was maybe a bit of a rant, but I feel that it will really, really help you. But remember, as a learning player, you can't really do anything wrong at the moment. You just need to learn the real fundamentals. Walk before you run. Yeah. Take note of any recommendations I've made in this video here, and really, really look to implement them, because everyone in this game has a chance to becoming a good player if you follow the fundamentals: vision, production, supply. Vision of your opponent's army and their base count, producing units all of the time, and not getting supply blocked. I hope this is some help, even to players that are probably a little bit higher than you, that are thinking, I don't really know how to improve at the game and I'm stuck. So this is GamerRichy. I coach all elos, all races. I coach a lot of people per week. I just wanted to, I'm just going to issue quite a lot of content around just replays that I've seen, around really, really just some basic stuff, some intermediate videos, and then we'll get to some of the advanced bits and pieces with some of the GM players that I may be helping, or top masters, so that then you can see that there are different problems throughout each and every player. But certainly the next time we see you, E-Man, I really hope that we don't see Zerglings in your mineral line. Have a good week. Have a lovely weekend if you end up seeing it on a weekend. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. Please subscribe if you've enjoyed the content. And again, have a lovely day. This is GamerRichy, Stim will win, baby. Stim will win.